Ben and Jen, this was an AR-15 style rifle, and it was traced back to a 2015 purchase from a North Carolina pawn shop. Now, in 2021, a 28-year-old man used that rifle to fire 18 shots at a Norwich police officer's cruiser near the woods one night. That officer fired back after the man dropped the gun. Now, a 41-page report by the Inspector General finds that that use of force was justified under Connecticut law. October 2021, Officer Scott Dupointe, then an 11-year veteran of the Norwich Police Department, responding to multiple 911 calls reporting shots fired around Westwood Park housing development. Dash camera shows overhead spotlights shining on 28-year-old Andrew Olone, and we see Olone fire at Officer Dupointe's cruiser, 18 rounds to be exact, 11 of them hitting the Explorer's windshield, passenger window, and engine, several rounds piercing nearby homes and a car.
This individual posed a risk to others in the community.
Officer Dupointe took cover and eventually fired 2 shots in the direction of Olone. Seconds after he dropped the gun and fled the scene, Olone was not hit. A new report by the Inspector General finds that use of deadly force was justified under Connecticut law. Elliot Spector is an attorney and former Hartford police officer who has worked on use of force cases since the early 90s.
The Supreme Court has said, and it's been the law since 1985, if an officer has reason to believe that the subject poses a risk of serious physical injury or death, then the officer can respond with deadly force. And that certainly was the case here, and it's consistent with the Inspector General's findings.
Inspector General Robert Devlin's 41-page report says the evidence strongly suggests that had Officer Dupointe not ducked beneath the windshield of the vehicle, he stood a great chance of being struck by one of the bullets fired by Olone. Mr. Olone had just fired a semi-automatic rifle at Officer Dupointe, and the officer was under the continuous belief that Olone was a threat to himself and members of the community. Accordingly, I conclude that under the circumstances presented, Officer Dupointe justifiably used deadly force. We do want to be clear that although this was a use of deadly force case, the use of force did not result in death in this case. Olone, who reportedly suffers from mental illness, did surrender to police after this incident. He is due in court next week on a slew of charges, including shooting at an officer. I'm Samaya Hernandez, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.